Hi, good morning, everybody. Joe Van Doren here, and welcome to our Virtues Pick for today. There we go. I'm excited to have this word that came up for us today because it's one of those things that I've had to work on like constantly, and and there's a lot of reasons for that. So let's look at it. The word that came up today, the virtue, was trust, and so let's read the description first, then we'll talk about it a little bit. Trust is having faith, hope, and a positive outlook. Trust is believing in someone or something. We have confidence that the right thing will come about without trying to control it or make it happen. We trust others to do what they say they will do and give them the space to be trustworthy. Sometimes it's difficult to trust when life brings painful experiences. Trust is being sure in the depths of our being that there is some gift or learning in everything that happens. We move confidently with the flow of life, gathering strength from adversity. We know we are never alone. There is so much that could be said about this, but in recent days and weeks, I guess for the last month or couple of months, I've been studying more and more about negative thinking and positive thoughts and the effect that it has on us. And, I mentioned at the very beginning of this that trust is one of those things that I've been working on for a very long time. And part of it is that believing that others are going to, do what they say they're going to do, and that I don't need to control everything. So this virtue of trust in our ability to trust not only others, but also to trust ourselves, that we can learn from the adversities and challenges that we have, that we can learn that there's a gift in everything that happens, that there's lessons to be learned. And so all of those things are difficult, and I think one of the things that that I had to and still am working on is trusting myself, trusting that I know what's best for myself, that I am good enough. So where do all those negative thoughts come from? Well, they come from beliefs, and beliefs are simply thoughts that are thought over and over again. And we've gathered around the proof, right, that these things are true. And a lot of times those deep-seated beliefs start when we're very young kids. And I know that's true for myself and true for many. And so when I'm seeing kids that have anxiety or are depressed or have other issues of fears and whatnot, a lot of times it's because they've developed beliefs about things and they have these negative thoughts going on in their head. And again, I say that not just from the experience of working with kids and with families, but also with the experience of personal experience. So, it's one of those things that we continue to work on. In the things that I've been reading and studying and looking into about this subject of positive thinking and about negative thinking and distorted thinking and all of those things, one of the things that have come up that I think I would like to share today in a brief manner, and then later we'll be expanding on it in other formats. But how is it that our children begin thinking in a negative way about themselves? Some of the studies have shown that one of the things that happens is that when parents are nagging or lecturing or always, I don't want to say just telling kids what to do, but when they're nagging them, and what it tells the child is that they're not good enough, and it points out where if a parent is constantly pointing out where they need to improve, then the child gets the message that that they're not good enough and that they can't do things, and And so they begin to interpret this nagging and lecturing and all those things that we do as parents as beliefs about themselves. And what does that turn into? It turns into distorted thinking. But it begins with distorted thinking. It begins with parents who, are focused in an irrational way only on the bad things that are happening, and they're not acknowledging and recognizing what was done well. And and that sort of climate that a child might grow up in has a very strong effect in their ability to be confident about themselves. So, it reminds me of that example of the baseball player that was visiting folks in prison, and the baseball player was asked about how he got to where he was, and he says, my father always told me, you keep throwing like that, you'll be in the big leagues if you're doing so well here and there, and building that and encouraging them to continue their practice. And the prisoner says, yeah, my father did the same thing. He always told me that I would end up in jail, and here I am. So, that's how it happens. And so my encouragement, if we're going to continue to develop trust and help our children develop trust, not only in themselves, but also in others, and not feel like they have to control everything, because they're living in some sort of a dysfunctional situation that where they feel that it demands that they gain control because no one else seems to be in control. Then, we have to learn to acknowledge them for the good things and to see those good things. And sometimes, we know as parents that can be very, very difficult because we really have to dig deep, right? We have to look really hard, and we have to see how this could possibly be a good thing. But I keep going back to those things that, that we're reminded of, that, when a child is acting in a quote unquote stubborn way, that might also be seen in a positive way as being determination or whatever. And it simply needs to be balanced out with other things. And if we approach it that way, we're going to see a child that grows and can learn from their mistakes and can learn from the challenges that they face, and will grow up having developed this positive outlook and limiting the amount of negative thinking that takes place. Trust is just so important, and I just encourage all parents to trust themselves in their parenting, and to also trust their children, that their children are unique individuals who have the ability, they know and have the ability to find all of the virtues inside of themselves because they're already there. And our job is simply to see them, acknowledge them, draw them out, coach them, mentor them, educate them, but not nag. Nagging is a bad thing. So we all know how we feel about it when we get nagged, right? So that's my thoughts today about trust. Today I'm going to be practicing this virtue and focusing on it mainly from the viewpoint of trusting myself to know that what's best for me. So thank you very much for being here. It's a great morning, and keep practicing the virtues until next time, and the 4 C's of successful families. And that is clarity, communication, consistency, and community. All right, until next time.